Making the best call and response sequences. I guess that's today's video. You ready for that? Let's go do it right now. Hey, check it out. I'm in a location and thank you for checking out yet another video. Now, if this is your first time here, don't hesitate to click subscribe and hit that notification bell. Whenever I upload a new video, you'll be kept in the loop and you'll not miss out on anything. Stick around till the end of this video. I'll tell you all about who the new patrons are. I'll tell you all about the Mixer project, and I will tell you all about, stuff that's happening. You know, it's cool, so stick around. Call and response. What is it and why is it important? You might argue. Very, very good question. Thanks for asking. Call response in music means there is some sort of a cadence between certain elements within either the groove or the melody that can help you to create an infinite loop. Okay, hold on. What's an infinite loop? An infinite loop in dance music is something that we will all strive for. We have to strive for that, because when your music is going, there's two ways of looking at the way the music is. Either it's a bit avant-gardistic and you're making this whole overture and it's going everywhere, or you will try to hypnotize your crowd. Now, the thing and the objective should always be hypnotize the dance floor, because if people are zoned in the music, it means they're really enjoying what's happening, and it's cool to really do that. I mean, I'm always trying to strive for that. Now, how can you hypnotize people? It probably works if you can get them in some sort of a hamster wheel situation where the groove is going and it's not boring, but at the same time, not a lot of stuff is happening. Now, that is the objective. Tracks like Eric Pritz's Call on Me, or most disco samples, or Gusto's Revenge, or Underworld's Born Slippy. Those are tracks that have a certain drive that don't really add a lot of stuff into it, so your brain's not constantly trying to figure out what's happening in the track, but it is keeping you in that hamster wheel. Most often, the thing that is used is call and response, meaning if you count to 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 1 and 2, if we're really going in simplistically and explaining it, on the 1 and 2 of the bar, something will happen, and on the 3 and the 4, something else will happen, and we'll say that the first part is the call part and the second part is the response part. 1, 2, and call, response, like that. And if you can get that on your music, it will mean that that loop is fulfilling itself. It's getting to a complete cycle, and we always love things that are, well rounded off. Now, does call and response only work within the bar? No, it does not. You can have call and response over longer durations of time, and it gets funky when you start to interact with these different things. So what I will do is create call and response within my beats, create call and response within the music, and create call and response with two different synthesizers, one acting as the caller and one acting as the responder, so you'll understand what's going on. I'm gonna start pretty simple. I've got the 99 drum computer all hooked up to the RK008 right here. There's an EPM 8 mixer over on this side, the JP008 Minitar DFAM subsequent 37. The JP008 is routed through the Acid Box 3, and then there's the black box here, which gets triggered by this MIDI fighter sitting over here. There are some pedals over on the far side with the Valco KGB distortion wired to the kick, so I can get a little bit more of a punch if I wanted to do a little bit more harder sound. The DD500 hooked up to, I believe it is to the DFAM, yes. The Strymon Black Sky hooked up to the subsequent 37, and then the digital delay DD7 hooked up to the JP08 as well. So that's what it is. So starting off with a pattern, I'm on pattern 31 at the moment. I'm using one pattern for a track. Now, how does this thing work? If you don't know, everybody's like asking me, what is this calculator all about? Well, it's not a calculator. It is a Alesis MMT8, but then in the newer version made by retro kits called the 008. That in tandem gets linked up to the 006, on which I can distribute MIDI. It's TRS MIDI, and this is 2 in, 10 out. So what happens is I distribute a start-stop signal from here. It gets distributed by this small orange machine right here, and I've divided this thing up into 2 segments. So one segment is only taking care of the MIDI part of things, sending out MIDI to this machine, this machine, this machine, and this machine obviously. And the other side is CV and triggers and that kind of stuff, which I'm going to show you in future videos. So where I have the Arteria Minilab 3 also connected to here, where I can record stuff. It's bracket armed, now it's off. So, and then those 8 buttons here are mutes for the respective 8 channels that this RK008 consists of. That's just the makeup of the setup. So now I'm going to start my kick drum. I've already done one kick drum because call and response is done in multiple ways. You can do it in drums and you can do it in the music. I will start by using a loop, also coming from the black box. So there we go. This 99 drum computer usually gets a clock signal, which means it runs by itself. And you can debate, like, would you not like to use its internal clock because of the groove and the old school vibe? Well, no, not today, because what I've done and what I'm doing right now is that I am just triggering the sounds, telling this machine to just listen to MIDI channel 15. So holding shuffle flam, we see 15 on screen, which means that's channel 15. So if I'm wiring up these channels to channel 15, it will respond to it. So channel 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on this machine are all going to respond to channel 15, which means I've got 5 channels on which I can use drum sounds, or on which I can program MIDI information, consisting of the TR99 drum computer with track 1 engaged, now it being the kick drum. And then what I usually do, I'll go to a different channel. So I'm selecting channel 2, and then I'm going to say, like, I want to do something with a clap. But I'm not going to just like do that out of the blue. I'm just going to like already play a top loop, and then in that top loop I've embedded some musical information as well, so that I know where I am. And this top loop is 16 bars long, so it plays for 16 bars, and then on the beginning of the bar you'll hear a sound playing. So I'm going to wait for my turnaround here. Very loud, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit. So now it doesn't do anything here. And then you'll see that it will now start to turn around 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and it's there again. So now you know where we are, right? Okay, what we're going to do right now, we're going to just like select channel 6. Channel 6 is the minitar. This is connected to MIDI channel 10, which means now that ooh, Michael Jackson. Now, how does call and response work in this particular bass line then, you know? So if I was to play this, when you count to 4, on the 1 and the 2 something is happening, and on the 3 and 4 something is happening. So that's the first part. And then the second part is ba-dum, 2, 3, ta, 2. And what happens if that loop just runs and runs? It creates that infinite loop that, you know, what we call the call and response thing. Now, the trick to also do it, so maybe let's, I'm just going to record it, but now I'm going to just like space this bass line out over 2 different machines. I'm going to record it now. Cool. So that's my mini guitar. Take it out. You can hear it clearly here. Longer notes. So, mini guitar. I'm going to make it a little bit rounder. And now I'm going to answer to this question part, right? So I'm going to go to a different. So this is my mini guitar right here. It's my Subsequent 37. As you can hear. So recording it in. So instantly you got this infinite loop of things moving. Now the trick why this works is because of this crazy sort of like eerie sound that's starting in the middle. Let's take this out of record. I'm going to just shorten these notes. And I'm going to put a little bit of reverb on there because I want this sound not to be that sparse. Okay, I'm thinking adding a little bit more drums, I think. So I'm gonna go in, clap. This clap is also going to play at a spot where it's going to probably play an answer routine. I can play. But in my top loop, I already got a clap, so why would I play my clap on the same part, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to see if I can move this clap over to a place where it's going to probably answer what's happening. So here you go. So yeah, so recording it in. Slowly, something is starting, right? Okay. Track 3 on my drums, hi-hat. Ba 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 da 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 ba 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 da 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 again ba 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 da ba 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 ba. Listen. And slowly, a groove of some sort is starting to metabolize. Now, it means that I've got call and response in one bar, but I've also got call and response over a longer duration of time, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exaggerated. Da 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 da. Da da da. So why am I doing that? Because I want longevity on my track. I want people's attention span to be a little bit more, have a longer attention span. Because if you're listening to the head here, it's something you will only pick up once you know what the other sequence is doing, right? Because now the call and response is just in its spot where it is with the bass lines. Got the mini there. But this is easy to follow, right? I mean, if you know a little bit about electronic music, this is not hard to pinpoint, but the trick is to stick an arpeggio somewhere in the middle so you can mask a little bit you mask away your call and response. Now, on this black box, the first column that I have, I've got different pieces of music already embedded. Now, if I'm going to build on my track, right, what I will do is slowly enter those pieces of music in. So yeah, I'm gonna take out my kick here, 2, 3, 4, and listen to this arpeggio. As you can hear in this arpeggio, that's already a call and response as well. It answers and it asks a question and it answers itself. On the one part here, if I'm taking out the bass lines here, you can probably hear it a little bit clearer. Question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, question, and I listen what happens with my bass line. Boom, 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 boom. So here's the question part on my bass line as well, playing along with the arpeggio. And now if I'm going to play that answer part, which is the subsequent 37, you'll hear that it's going to respond to the other side of the arpeggio. So I'm going to switch over now, 2, 3. Bam. Now this is how you make an infinite loop. This is how you make an infinite loop, meaning the track will probably not need a lot of information extra for it to work. And the thing is to get there fast. So I'm always looking, if I'm playing something live, can I start doing some call and response as a strong addition in order for me to just like really work that track, right? Now I'm going to play my minotaur as well, so then you'll hear how it works in the grand scheme of things. And the kick drum as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Time for an open hat, I think. Take out the close head in a second. Woohoo! Are you still paying attention to the clap? So there's so many things happening, but it's all to do with spacing stuff out, right? And then there's a lead of some sort. Then I can also play, but I will play that lead. Hey, okay, let's do something here. I'm going to say erase, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to, yep, I took out the closed head now because it's going to choke the open head. So I'm going to go in old school like. Yep, needed to play that closed head in a spot where the open head is not playing. So we got that old school pass groove, right? Okay, playing the lead here. Taking out a kick. Kick back in, lead out, 1, 2, 3, go. and that lead played over a duration of maybe 8 bars, and that is even creating more longevity on the track. And that's basically how you should look at working that stuff, you know. Mind you, this is done through just staying on the same root note, right? I'm staying on the same root note. Everything. So what if I was to play a different harmony? Now you're just listening to the black box right now. Top loop and the clap, obviously. So as you can hear, I've switched up the music. This is all in the same root note. What the bass line is playing here. And since I'm not playing too many different notes, it means that if I'm going to change the chords around, because there's a 3-chord structure that is going to start playing, that arpeggio plays a longer note, but I've played it twice. And on this second cell, it's only revolving constantly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then on the next cell up, which is the third one in my column, there it plays a melody like this. But now you'll hear the miniature bass line a little bit more. Now I'm really giving away what's happening. Usually I should follow the chorus, you know, it just plays something different. Is what's happening, but nah, you know, I'll probably play this in a drop with this off as well, which means the subsequent and the miniature are turned off. So that's the melody playing here as well. And then when I'm good and ready to go, I'll probably just like rack myself up and go say like just the last pass. Probably play something with this one here. See if I'm going to hit my MIDI channel 13 and play maybe. You can hear another vocal going in. Okay, let's record it in. Yep, nice. Again. Probably it's playing right now. Yep, there you go. Cool. Kick drum in. Oh, nice. Kick. And hats. Lower the filter, back to my Ostinato baseline. 1, 2, 3, go. Kick out, and to the straight baseline, or arpeggio. And that's how you build it up, you know? Slowly, but surely. And yeah, really dig it in. If I want to take this out because this is giving away another melody, I'm just gonna say like, turn it out like. So I really enjoyed that kind of vibe, right? Turn down the hats a little bit. Kick out. And that's how I just look at this call and response business, because I do think, yeah, it just helps my vibe. Now, as you saw, I try to get myself inspired by tracks that already exist, right? I mean, it's a thing to maybe try and figure out something that is already there. But for instance, I had this Michael Jackson thing in my mind. I just really didn't think of it before I stood here and thought, like, what am I going to play? And yeah, then that works. That seems to work out well. Okay. In the comment section, which Michael Jackson track am I talking about? Go now! Homage to the one and only Quincy Jones. Well, it works, you know? And then, if you really want to focus on just what I have played, taking out this loop that gave me the idea for the chords, let's focus on getting the sounds a little bit closer together so that it really sounds like one bass line. Turn this off. So maybe thinking of just playing around with the oscillators here. So you can really focus on what do you want. And sometimes you can really think like, okay, do I want to focus on the answer part of things? Well, question, answer, question, answer. Or do you want to turn it around? Which means make this a little bit shorter and then the trick here is on the first of your bar, the first of the measure will really make a little bit more aggression. On the second hard part of your bar will give a little bit of groove, right? This is more, we're going forward, come on, instantly I'm starting to think like, you know what, I want to just like play a clap, 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 make it a little bit more techno, right? If my mini guitar is really pushing everything forward, because it is pushing stuff forward, toning it down, and doing this thing here with the subsequent. With a high note. Just a little bit more of a groove, right? And both of them, of course, in Guns N' Never Wrong mode means we're not going home anytime soon. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hey! Call, response, and call, response, and David Sharp, and David Sharp. David Sharp, thank you for joining. He's a new patron and he follows everything at patreon.com/analogkitchen. Now, that's where the whole community congregates. That's where we are talking shop. That's where we're talking synths. That's where we are actually talking about the thing that we all love, mainly synthesizers and performing and whatever. And you can throw your demos in there because Patreon is bridged to Discord, and on the Discord chats, probably after this video, if you're watching the premiere, if not, and it's Saturday, the premiere was yesterday and you missed it, so which means I'm coming from the past, but I'm coming from the future. In a second there will be a video chat where we can hop on and talk about different things synthesizer related. Now, one thing that we talk about is the mixer project, the AKM1. I'm so bad with titles. Analog Kitchen Mixer 1. I got Ferry into it, and Ferry is my designer. We're now looking at faders. So we're looking at Alps, maybe TDK. We're looking at what is a good, you know, a good fader and feels sturdy, but it feels like it's quality, you know, because I do think that's a very important part. Ferry told me that one of the channel strips is finished. He's testing stuff out. I saw him test the phono inputs on it, so that was also very promising. So there's a lot that is happening. We are slowly but surely coming to fulfillment. Last week I said we're aiming at April, maybe March, April. But it's cool. We are looking to build a prototype of that set mixer. I've said it a million times before. I will say it again to you, new subscriber. Thank you for being here. The mixer is a project where I thought at some point, like, why on earth is there not a mixer dedicated to us Dallas performers, right? I mean, there is a studio mixer, there is a club DJ mixer, but there's no mixer for us Dallas guests. Now, why do I think that is important? All these different boxes do have a specific sound signature. A 909 will sound different from a analog rhythm. It will sound different from a Percons, will sound different from anything else, and that goes also for even the DFAM and the subsequent 37 and the Minitar. And then if you got a lot of boutique sounds, it's just more pedals in the equation. It starts to add up. And if you are not a clued on sound engineer, or you don't have a lot of experience, which is, even though you can be a musician for the longest of times, most musicians that I talk to, they hate mixing. They hate everything. They're just like, oh, can you mix my record? I want to create and not mix. But when you're a Dallas performer, at some point you have to look at the levels of your different boxes. Try an octatrack next to an MPC and you know that there is a difference, which is what the manufacturers don't tell you. But if you're performing and you're doing a live event with 5, 6 different live acts, they all sound different. And which is why most promoters don't really like to put live acts on, because they think like, yeah, there's the difference, and it's just like, blah, blah, blah. And I believe that, okay, you have to know something about what you're doing if you're really surgically going in and EQing stuff on stage. Probably there's something wrong with the whole song setup, right? Then you need to go back to the drawing board. Then again, if you just want to blend stuff in and just want to just like make sure that it sounds well, and we've made this mixer, it sounds better than most, because we just looked at a lot of specs of high-end audio mixers. I'm not really exaggerating if I'm telling you it's going to really, really, really sound like a bomb. It's built like a tank, and we've just got like input, Neve input transformers, not Neve, but the same input transformers that is used on both Neve and API kind of gear, you know, so it's high-end stuff, which means you get that Class A expensive sheen kind of sound on your live set, so you only need to just pinpoint where you want it to steer, you know. That's what I really envisioned with this mixer, and that's where we are. Lengthy explanation, but then you know why this thing came to be. So that mixer, and we're talking about it on Discord. We have pictures up there, we've got sound bites on there. You can even ask Ferry, the designer, stuff. Who else is in there? I've got IK Multimedia, which are also in the Discord. I've got Grit Retro Kids, who's also on my Discord. So if you want to know something about gear or gear related stuff, that is your one-stop shop. You won't be breaking the bank, so do check it out. Once again, that's patreon.com/AnalogKitchen. Now, if you, sir or ma'am, have made it this far into the video, you are an absolute superstar. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Hit subscribe if you did not do so already. Like and share. It helps the channel, and it helps me create better and bigger content for you. Now, with that said, I'd like to thank you, and I'll catch you next week. Keep watching this space, and I'll see you on another video. I'm in Analog Kitchen, and I'm out. Peace.